Sonic Forces, everyone's least favorite Sonic the Hedgehog game. I've been dunking on this game forever now, so to put the argument to rest once and for all, here's 100 reasons why Sonic Forces is terrible and I hate it. Give me one actual reason why Classic Sonic's here, besides to cash in on Generations fans. From the team that brought you Sonic Colors and Sonic Generations, a very cherry-picked backlog, might I say. They didn't make Lost World or Unleashed or 06, just the ones reviewers liked. Got it. It was announced during Sonic's 25th anniversary livestream, and that thing would not stop crashing. Also, another terrible game to celebrate a Sonic anniversary. The custom character is actually a cool idea, and it sucks this is the game that implements him. They teased all these returning villains that people were begging for, and it turns out they're holograms, they ain't here. There's marketing that exaggerates things, and then there's this type of shit that's just flat out lies. I said people wanted all these villains, but was anybody asking for Zavok to come back? R.I.P. Mephiles. The main villain, Infinite, is lame. His whole motive for being evil is because Shadow beat him up one time, and he is not a loser. This dude talks like he's an all-powerful god, and the world should stop to hear what he has to say. Man, shut up. With Shadow being the one that pissed Infinite off so much, you'd think he'd be more central to the story, but nah. Episode Shadow was nice, but too little too late. Green Hill, again. These level designs are the worst in the entire series. There's levels where you boost a lot in other Sonic games, but these are literal hallways where you just hold the button and plow through with no actual player input. The most boring 3D Sonic stages of all time. The enemies don't even try to fight back, they just wait there and take it. There's nothing innovative or new about modern Sonic's gameplay at all. He doesn't even have his iconic spin dash. He does control a bit tighter than before, which is good, but making him play better for worse levels is a punch in the face to any Sonic fan. And the worst part, these levels are the most fun part of the game. Even with an entire gameplay style dedicated to 2D, the modern stages are about half and half, and that's being generous.
Green Hill's looking a lot more like Sand Hill right now.
The lack of emotion or anything in his voice when the most iconic environment in his series is getting decimated is so off-putting. Post-Frontiers, hearing what Roger's Sonic voice could have been for such a serious plot, this game's really missing out. Sonic gets his ass beat, worse than we've ever really seen before. Tails just chills in the corner and watches this happen. So much for growing up in Sonic Adventure, now we got this. And let's not forget about this. They also said he, quote, lost it, and he's just going about his normal business. When Sonic loses, it cuts to a black screen that tells you Eggman's army took over. Frickin' show us! It's the one time Eggman actually wins. It's in all the marketing material. Fucking show us. They could have done so much more with this concept. I'm talking full-on Eggman land, new robots, more destruction, and less blandly colored dystopian metropolis. At least the Chaotix aren't holograms, but they don't do anything. Same thing with these other guys, honestly. They've been shown to be just as strong as Sonic in other games, but here, when the world needs them most, they just hang around. Even still, they don't even interact all that much. You get a cheap one-liner here and there, but there's no chemistry like there should be. These dialogue boxes telling 90% of the story is lazy and boring. The music during these segments is way too freaking loud. 1 second, Knuckles thinks Sonic's dead, and 5 seconds later,
Sonic is alive!
Why are the Wisps back? The custom character gameplay has potential, but it feels like a less good version of the modern levels. The Wispins don't add anything, and that's the main unique gimmick with these levels. The grappling hook feels so automated, even a SpongeBob game figured out swinging mechanics, come on. They call this dude Rookie like he's some chump off the street, then go ahead and trust him to rescue their largest asset. Sonic's locked up for months and presumably tortured pretty horrendously, but when we see him again, he's the same old wisecracking, lighthearted guy. QuickTime events in 2017. This cool-looking cinematic snake battle is only QuickTime events. The soundtrack is full of absolute bangers, and it's embarrassing to jam out to a song from this poo. Fist Bump is a top-tier Sonic vocal theme. Again, I feel shame listening to it. Classic Sonic time, the fact that he's here. His gameplay is slow and sucks. No momentum physics whatsoever. This is not Sonic. Hell, it's slower than a Mario game. Chemical Plant again. This Sonic has no attitude. This is not the same guy from Mania. Oh, it ties into Mania and drags down one of Sonic's best games. And it came out right after Mania, so for all the good that game did, let's undo it all. How come Classic Sonic is fully capable of saving the world in other games, but here he's Tails' sidekick and barely does a thing? 3 gameplay styles, not one of them is good. How did this take 4 years to make? It takes just 4 hours to beat the main objectives. That's 1 hour per year of development time. This came out the same year as one of Mario's best 3D games. It somehow looks worse than Sonic Lost World on the Wii U. Another Sonic game that mistreats Silver's character. Seriously, you bring back this optimistic, super overpowered character, give him this bar, and get him decimated by Infinite, why even bother? Why was Infinite carrying the Phantom Ruby prototype here, and how is he so f***ing dumb that he leaves it behind? That's why they lost. Eggman actually didn't f*** up for once. The actual Phantom Ruby can basically do whatever the plot wants it to, and it has the power to alter reality, giving the developers Mario Wonder levels of possibilities, and instead we get nothing. The most they do with it is red cubes. Its power is also very vague. One second it's unstoppable, and the next it's worthless. Infinite's supposed to be all-powerful, and despite showing he's more than capable of beating Sonic, he doesn't just kill him at the end of the game. Problem solved. These in-game cutscenes had no effort put into them at all. Some of the story is told through external comics. Why?
Been generations since I seen you.
So bad. They finally give Knuckles a pretty good look again. He's not an idiot, and actually leads the Resistance. Why is he not playable? This title screen is bland, but I guess it's not misleading. That's good. Why was it packaged with Monkey Ball? They tried charging $40 for this. It's still listed for $40 on Steam. How? There's a shitty mobile game that's also called Sonic Forces. Shadow Generations one-ups this game in every regard, and shows how to properly make more Generation-style levels. The Sunset Heights level in this game is peak. The bosses are terrible. The final one being another Death Egg Robo is a major letdown. They don't give you multiple save slots, something the Genesis games were able to do. The ranking system is once again pointless. The game is way too easy. The springs they put in pits to save you make that even more apparent. The levels in this game are way too short. Absolutely no replay value. Nunca, none. Even the red rings feel so tacked on, and you collect most of them by just running through the stage as normal. The characters just yap and yap during gameplay. Dude, I get it. It only runs at 30 FPS on Switch. The levels do not feel connected to one another. There's no Chaos Emeralds. The fate of the world is at stake, and Sonic doesn't even go super. The world map mission select thing is clunky. I get it's trying to be like Adventure 2, but it drained all the color and life out of it. Still, no Chow Garden. The ending feels really rushed. The group just disperses, the rookie goes off on his own, and I guess the rest of the crew just cleans up Eggman's rubble. This game plays it way too safe, and tries to please Sonic fans to its own detriment. Most Sonic games introduce new characters to allow the game to tell their story, but the custom character doesn't have that at all. One, because he doesn't have much personality, and two, because he doesn't really grow or arc out. I get why he had to be silent, but it's still weird. Functionally, this game is really polished, and that's the hardest thing to cope with. So much attention was put into avoiding the failures of their past. They didn't want another Sonic 06. And in doing so, they created a game so basic, so uninspired, and so boring that it's, in my opinion, the worst Sonic game. I'd take Sonic 06 over Forces 10 times out of 10, because this is fun and took creative liberty. And the lack of that in Forces and the misleading marketing that made me think otherwise is why I hate this game so much. That's only $99? It's bad. And if you disagree or agree, let me know down below, and thanks so much for watching.